One of life's little interesting synchronicities is you put into mind something that you want, something that you think would serve you. And I was recently at one of my favorite people in the world's place. His name is Alex Attard, and he built this whole ghost town, Old West town, in his backyard, and he spent 30 years doing it. It's very cool. And he restores cars, and he's probably the single most influential person when it comes to the craft of what I do specific to theming. Watching him do amazing things with what he has there. Well, we got into a conversation, and I'd mentioned that, I've had this dream for a long time with Legendary Escapes of having a truck. Having an old truck, sort of a legend, something 1920s, kind of the old work truck look, but modernizing it, putting a new motor in it, fixing it up as a driver. Not just to go on pool appointments, but then also a casual drive truck that if I needed to throw something in the back, I wouldn't be afraid to. So it's not a showpiece, not a show vehicle, something that I could drive, that we could logo up really cool, and it would just be a cool part of the culture of what Legendary Escape stands for. So he said, well, I have this 1925 Maxwell here, and he's got a tarp over it, and he goes, that's one of them that I'm selling, and I'm selling this one and this one and this one. And so I took a few pictures of the Maxwell, and he goes, it's a really solid body, it's a really, really good vehicle. The Fords in those days, the metal tends to be rickety and just didn't last, but look at how solid this is, almost brand new tires, look at how strong this truck is. And I said, Alex, when we met, I had pulled up in your yard because you had a buggy for sale in the front yard, and when I came around the back, you had just gotten another truck. And I said, I took a picture of that truck because I always wanted it, and at that time I couldn't afford it, and I always wished I could because I had this dream of doing that before. And he said, oh yeah, that was a 1929 such and such. He could remember this was probably 18 years ago. So anyway, that was kind of a cool story, went along, and I told him, I said, I took a picture of that truck, and I see it every single day. It's hanging on the wall in my office. And I think about that truck, and I think about what, for so long, how I've wanted that as part of a promotional item and whatever. Well, I came into the office today, and I was sitting here where I oftentimes do, and I looked up on the wall where this Polaroid picture that I would have taken 18 years ago sits, and here it is. And lo and behold, when I started to look at it, I realized that's the 1925 Maxwell that I just agreed to buy from him. This is the picture of that vehicle. This is not, in fact, the 1929 whatever I thought it was. This is, in fact, the truck. So the synchronicity part is setting a plan in motion, and for all those years, having something that you could dream and think about. And I've thought about this hundreds, if not thousands of times since I took this Polaroid 18, 19 years ago, however long ago it was. And yet I was just there 4 or 5 days ago, and I agreed to buy this truck from him. So there's an example of putting it out into the universe and kind of forgetting about it, and knowing it's there and dreaming and scheming, but not really knowing the details, and you let the universe take it. And there it is, 1925 Maxwell.